I was on the verge of potentially losing my job. I just felt so good doing it. I can't believe how this one little simple action step completely just changed everything.
She was angry. She was angry at herself. She was angry with God. She did not understand why she was in a circumstance that she was.
I was struggling with loneliness.
But as soon as she came across my video, she decided to also take that step. She quit social media for 30 days. Here's her life today.
You had a big impact on me. Stumbled upon one of your videos. I just thought it was an amazing idea, taking like a social media fast.
Social media has become some sort of escape from reality for some people, to feel loved, appreciated, accepted, validated, and so forth, but not all for the right reasons. Social media, if we're not careful or disciplined enough, can take up most of our time, where that time can be focused on bettering relationships, health, or even start that dream business. I know you were getting a lot of results even just the first week of this 30-day cleanse. So tell me how that's been.
I was actually kind of shocked when you start tracking and start focusing, like how much time am I really spending on social media, or how many hours am I utilizing doing this instead of this?
If not careful or disciplined enough, people spend more than 3 hours a day on social media and then say to themselves that they don't have enough time for anything else. Research shows that with this rate that we're going, the average person spends 7 years or more on social media throughout their whole lifetime. Can you imagine what you could do with that extra time or even years? What would you do with your time?
When you start looking at it and tracking it, it was shocking. When I deleted everything, when I was checking my phone constantly, kind of a reality check for me, because I was like, wow, I didn't realize how much I was actually on my phone. Because of that, within the first week, I was down 68% on my phone usage.
Tracking our time is crucial for us, for our family and loved ones, and where we spend our time can either produce us results or not in our lives.
And it's just kind of like a time suck. When it's not there, then you're like, whoa, I have other time for other things. You know, my relationship with my kids, I started talking to my kids more, finding out things were going on that I wasn't completely aware of. I mean, I knew about it, but I wasn't completely aware of like how bad it was as far as like school-wise.
Time is extremely valuable. We can't ever get it back. But if we invest in our time that is more valuable, we will have more time in the future. Let me explain. My good friend of mine who I haven't spoken to in years came across my video on the same day it was published. At a time that she really desperately needed a change in her life. On the same day, she actually took the day off. She didn't want to go to work and she was scrolling through social media and she came across my video. And
something you said in the video just kind of spoke to me. You had shared your story that you had good results after you had taken the pause as far as with depression. And I was kind of like, wow, like somebody else feels the way that I feel and they did this and it worked. I was like, why not? What's the harm in trying it out? My biggest improvement is prior to doing the 30 days off of social media, I was literally in a meeting with my boss signing my final warning for tardiness within the first week. I mean, I just completely turned that around, and now I've been 2 months with perfect attendance and getting recognition, encouragement from my boss who I was butting heads with. Definitely sleeping better, journaling more, meeting actual people. I think that's one of the things that I also was an improvement in my life, because I was going on social media and you feel like you're connected to people, but you're really not connected. So I started picking up the phone, talking to people, joined a Bible study group, and I actually made some real friends, like people friends. I was on the verge of potentially losing my job.
All because of how we prioritize our time. Even social media is an addiction. I admit it. I had social media addiction. Any addiction that you may have, it's because of that side of the brain. It's not like causing harm, but in reality, it is causing harm. You were in the verge of losing the job. And what also blows my mind is the fact that you took action. You had no excuses. You're like, well, I like and trust Natalie, so I'm gonna delete all these things. I relate with her story. I'm gonna do it with full faith. I don't even know what's gonna happen. And then 2 months later, you're like, oh my God, I don't even want this anymore. I don't want social media. Like, I'm so happy that it's beautiful. Like, you have so much time and you're like, now what do I do? Well, let me fix my relationship with my family, my kids. Let me find great quality people. And it hasn't even been a year, because I know I spoke in my video with a whole entire year, because I've had it, obviously. Can you imagine where you would be? You know, just, it's only been 2 months. Why did you fully stop? Or did you have any like urges to get back on?
I knew something needed to change. I just didn't know where exactly it needed to change, but I just knew something needed to change. I just felt so good doing it. I can't believe how this one little simple action step completely just changed everything.
That one thing, and a lot of times we're not aware of what just one thing in our lives to change that will make a dramatic difference. We feel like we have to change everything all at once. I am so big when it comes to our time. I feel like our time is far more valuable, and it's important to track where our time is going, and the fact that your phone was keeping you accountable. What was it part of my story that it just kind of like clicked for you to do what you did?
A lot of people don't want to share those types of things. Like, I had depression, or I've struggled with depression or anxiety. They only want to share their highlight reels.
That's what social media is all about.
Right. That's what it's all about. And I think what was different is that you actually shared something that I felt connected to. I was like, well, I feel that way too. I jumped on it so fast was because I connected with you in your story. And I was like, well, if she's had success, then maybe I can too. And so that was a cool thing. And when I saw, right away within the first week, how positive it was affecting my life, I just kept going with it. And I didn't really even need anybody to motivate me, because I was motivating myself. And so I think that's a lot of it too, is like, I felt proud of myself that I was actually doing something, and I didn't need like somebody to be like, good job. Like, I was telling myself, wow, like, you're doing so good.
Now I have to ask you, what if you didn't, let's say, come across my video and didn't take that step in deleting all your social media apps? What do you think would have happened?
Well, I know for sure that I would probably continue to spiral, because in the past, that's kind of what I did, or that was kind of my MO, is just I would spiral out of control. And it's like, well, I'm already going down this path, and might as well go all the way. Who knows? Maybe I would have been, laid off from my job. Being able to sit down with my kids and have, a 1 or 2 hour conversation, we're just laying around, just talking. It opened up a lot of things that I didn't even know was going on. And it allowed my son to be more vulnerable with me and kind of, open up with me. And then I was able to help him. That ultimately, that's what any parent wants, is to be able to help their children and encourage them. And so, it's been a process, and it's definitely not, anywhere near, where we want it to be. But we're moving in the positive direction, and we're moving in a better direction now. I learned that my son has a passion for cooking. He loves cooking. He cooks better than me, and he's 10 years old. So it's crazy, and he has these aspirations. He wants to be like Gordon Ramsay and stuff. And like, I never knew any of that before. And when you start talking to your children, it's amazing the things that you learn, and you think you know everything, but when they start opening their mouths, it's just incredible to hear.
He raised his grades. They're better than they were before, which is amazing.
Yeah, in 2 months, he's brought his grades up 2 levels. And that wouldn't have been possible if I wouldn't have sat down with him and had conversations, tough conversations.
Having them being in a place where they can express themselves, they're in a space where it's okay to be who they are. Like, you have no idea. You bring out the best in people when you just are there, present, and listen without being on the damn phone. So all I just do is focus on YouTube because it's my profession, but it's just about having that disciplines, and you obviously nailed it down. You obviously know your worth, your abilities, your skills.
Now I have more energy when I'm at work. I'm doing my calls. I'm hitting my, hitting my volume, and reaching the goals that are set for me, at my job. I also got a bonus too. I got a $500 bonus.
Thank you so much for watching this whole interview. If you enjoyed this interview, make sure you watch this video next where I share my story and when I fully quit social media for 30 days and what my life was like right after that. And if you like that, do consider subscribing to the channel. It would mean so much to me. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a great day.